Yoma Daf Chof Aleph. Today's email comes from Nisan Levi Kinstein, and he says, "Dear R Eli, I really enjoy your shir. I started this Masechta. I live in Kiristir, Hungary, near the grave of the holy tzaddik Reb Shaila. Baruch Hashem, I received my Gemara. I'm here 5 years with very few Sfarim. At age 60, I worry that I won't be zoich to finish Shas. Bez Hashem, now I can begin again. I'm formerly from Ramat Bet Shemesh. I'm very happy now. And brachas to all those who are involved in the shir. Nisana Levi Kinstein should have atzlacha. You should be zoicha to finish Shas with us." Says the Gemara in Yoma Daf Chof Aleph. Rav says Klal Yisrael, or the Yisraelim, used to stand behind the Kodesh HaKadoshim. There's 11 Amma over there, right behind the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and they were squished in there like sardines. They were oimdim tzvufim, and when it came time for the shtachava, they were mishtachava refuah. So oimdim tzvufim umishtachavim revachim. Not only that, they had, each person had dalet amas. You could say the vidui that his friend shouldn't be able to hear. This is one of the 10 nisim that wasn't a permanent nace in the Beis Hamikdash. Women would not lose their pregnancy just from smelling the unbelievable smell of the kachim. The meat never spoiled. You wouldn't see a fly in the Beis Hamikdash where they took care of all the meats in the Beis Hamikdash and the Hazara. The Kohen Gadol never saw a carry all the years of the Beis Hamikdash, Yom Kippur. There was no psul when it came to the Omer, the Shtei Alechem of Shavuos, Lechem Apanim, because if there would be a psul, it would be very difficult to replace it. You would have to wait a whole week for Lechem Apanim, etc. The rain never put out the fire on top of the Maracha on the Mizbeach, and the winds never scattered the smoke. Yes, it would move side to side, but it would be like in a nice beam kind of shape. There were a few things that used to be absorbed by the actual ground of the Azara. When they cooked kachim in earthenware, they would break the earthenware because it had noiser in it. It would be absorbed by the ground. When they cleaned out the Mizbeach HaPnimi from the Ketores, it would be absorbed in the ground. The moira, the noitza of the oila, the feather of the oila, and the innards, they would just throw it in a certain place next to the Mizbeach and it would be absorbed by the ground. There was a nisim that were not kavua, like the heat of lechem apanim. The aron itself was 2.5 amma by 1.5 amma, but it wasn't included inside the measurements of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, which was 20 ammas. It didn't take up any space. The kruvim of Shlema, which each wing was 5 ammas, times 4 wings is 20 ammas, but the body of the bird didn't take up any room. That was a nace. Shlomo HaMelech planted trees that gave off golden fruit, but those were kavua, those were permanent. That's why it's not in the list. It came a wind, would blow down the fruit, and when the enemy came in, the goyim came in, the fruit dried up, there's no more gold. But Lasalavai, these trees are going to come back. Yerushalayim, these are nisim in Yerushalayim, snakes and scorpions didn't damage anyone. And a person who came for Aliyah L'Regel and he would stay by somebody's house, he would never say, "There's not enough space here, I don't have enough food." The shulchan with the lechem apanim is mekabel tuma, even though it's kli'et, you would think that it's not meant to be moved, but since they lifted it up to show Klal Yisrael how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves them, that the bread is warm from Shabbos to Shabbos, therefore it's a movable object, it's mekabel tuma. There are 5 things that are said about the fire on the Marach and the Mizbeach. In the first Beis Hamikdash, it had a shape of a lion. It was clear like the sun, and you were able to feel it. It was able to consume the wood, whether it was moist or dry, and it didn't have any smoke. In Bayis Sheni, the shape wasn't that of a lion, but rather that of a dog. The Torah says v'yikabda should have a hay at the end, but it doesn't have a hay. To tell us that there was 5 things that were missing in Bayis Sheni. One of them was the aron kaparis and kruvim were missing. The second one is there was no fire from Shemayim. In other words, there was a fire from Shemayim, but it didn't consume the karbanos. We lost the Shechina, we lost Ruach HaKodesh, and we lost the Urim Betumim. That's the Shem Hashem that goes in the Choshen, that was able to communicate with the Kohen Gadol. There are 6 types of fires. Typical fire like we have today consumes solids but doesn't consume liquids. That of a sick person consumes his liquids but not solids. The fire of Eliyahu Hanavi consumed both solids and liquids, as the pasuk says, Eitzim Avanim, and the water. The fire on the Marach of the Mizbeach consumes dry and moist. Malach Gavriel's fire could push off fire, like you see by Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and that of HaKadosh Baruch Hu could burn. His fire burns other fires. That of Malachim and Sheshes Mebereshis, when they said HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't create man. Matzah Yantiv of Sukkot, Klal Yisrael would look at the direction of the smoke on the Maracha. If it came from the south, that means the smoke went to the north. That means there's going to be a lot of rain that year, and the poor people are very happy because a lot of produce means the prices are low. If it's a northern wind, which is pushed to the south, so the wealthy are happy because they have less produce and they could raise the prices. If it's towards the east, in other words, it comes from the west, that means there's a lot of rain. That's very good for Eretz Yisrael, which is a dry place, but not good for Bavel. The Shulchan was in the northern part of the Heichal, and it's to tell us that the northern wind is good for the wheat, because the bread on the Shulchan, but the menorah is on the south, and you could remember that because the menorah is made with Shemen Zayis, and Shemen Zayis, the southern wind is good for it. And with that we finish the first parak of Masechet Yoma, Shivas Yomim. Mazel Tov, and have a wonderful day.